Hey guys,
Hey guys.
we are back. I am Jake,
I'm Dave.
and this is Father and Son Issues number 3. So we left off on episode 2, talking about some Robin. Specifically, we kind of got in on Jason Todd towards the end.
Yeah, Jason Todd, created by Jerry Conway and Don Newton.
Yes,
I think 1983 is when he first appeared.
probably.
Stealing
You
the
were there,
hubcaps.
I was not. So I
You definitely weren't there. Stealing the hubcaps.
Yes,
a car.
trying to get the Batmobile's rims, man. Nice blingy rims. And
Right.
trying to get some
Killer
money.
Croc killed his parents.
Right.
And then I think about 84, he was introduced as the new Robin. Right. Dick Grayson became Nightwing.
Yes.
He became
in
the new
Bloodhaven.
Robin. Right.
Yeah.
So yes, it's kind of, the new Robin. Always a complicated relationship with Batman.
And also bringing out a new character, replacing the beloved Dick Grayson.
It's always tough to do.
Right. It didn't. Everyone wasn't the happiest about it. A lot of people don't like new things, and that's okay.
So even though he was, I think he's a great Robin. We're going
Right.
to segue into this phone thing that happened. You got to phone in
Right.
a storyline, whether he lived or died.
Yes. And I'm so
Death in the
curious.
family.
I wasn't, because I wasn't though. Did you phone in? And what did you say?
I did phone in, and I wanted Jason to live.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were in the minority.
Yeah, I didn't think I wanted to see the Joker kill anyone. I still don't like death. Like, it's tough, right? Now, retrospectively, it's probably the best thing that happened to his character because it gave the character depth, this huge arc.
Right. Right.
The timeline being changed by Superboy causing ripples in the time. And then he punches himself out of the coffin. He's kind of in a coma. Ra's al Ghul's daughter
Right.
saves him
Using the pit.
using the pit. But he's alive, but he puts him in the pit, and then Ra's al Ghul's in the pit
Yeah, you almost don't know.
and thinks it's a huge mistake at the long
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
And then he comes back, but it messed up his mental state.
Right, and it's like a soul, like the pit does to
Yeah.
Raish and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's tarnished, even though he's back. But it gave his character a lot of depth because now he just wants revenge on Batman, on Bruce.
And kind of because he wants revenge because he didn't break his moral code, right? Like
Right.
He wants revenge because he didn't kill for Jason.
He didn't kill for Jason. He
Right.
feels abandoned. Right? It is really
Unloved.
unique
Yeah.
situation.
Very unique.
When him and Batman get into a fist fight, he laughs at Batman at one point, and he says, "You hit me harder than you hit the Joker."
Right.
Really heavy stuff, right? That's heavy
That is
stuff.
heavy stuff.
And he was now it has I think a real surge in popularity as the Red Hood.
No, an insane amount, especially the animated movie where he was voiced by Jensen Ackles, an amazing animated movie, one of the best out there, Batman Under the Red Hood. And yeah, that just shot him up in popularity very quickly. And
Yeah,
then-
argue about things DC's have done, creative choices. Their animated films,
untouchable.
always on point.
Untouchable. Tell me a good Marvel animated movie. and not the new Avengers. That's a great movie. Okay, I'll give it to you. The new Avengers, that's great. Okay, with Professor Bruce Banner and Captain America's son. No, it's okay. It's a great movie. But other than that, that's all I'm saying.
I think I get it. I told you he's going to be the negative side of this whole thing.
But yeah, he got a lot of popularity. He was voted in to be the DLC character for Injustice 2. He was he's very popular today. Very popular.
And everybody knows the Red Hood, right? Or I should maybe they don't. The Red Hood was basically the Joker before the Joker.
Yeah, the origin of whatever name you want to use for the Joker, Jack White, whatever name you give the Joker. Before that, yeah, he started. He was, I guess, kind of coerced and then being forced.
Yeah,
to
forced
be,
into the world of crime.
Yeah,
and he
in
wore
Red
this
Hood.
Red Hood when he did. He did actually have a really cool figure, a Red Hood figure from McFarlane Toys. It's just awesome, and a strange kind of tribute to the man who killed him. I was gonna say homage, but
Yeah.
it's more of like a
Like
you know,
Joker killed me, and yeah, I said this is my new beginning and my beginning, and the same beginning as the person who killed me, which is very interesting and very twist and dark. But in the same way, Bruce Wayne is a bat who he's afraid of.
Right.
You know, he becomes the Red Hood who he was, who was obviously the person who killed you. You're gonna be
right. And
afraid
so
of in a
and
way.
Jason Todd's always scarred Batman like for life, right? He has his suit type of display in the Batcave.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And
yeah,
you've
as
seen
we
it
know.
in the films.
Right. It was
and-
in Batman v Superman.
Yeah, and in the comics.
Yeah.
And even when Jason Todd comes back, he Alfred asks Batman in an issue, "Do you want me to take this down?" And he's like, "No." You know, it's a reminder for him, right? So Dick and Bruce, complicated relationship. Tim and Drake, complicated relationship. Nothing tops the Jason Bruce dynamic.
Nothing
It is the
tops
most
it.
complicated relationship. Middle child syndrome to the 10th degree.
You know,
Middle
it's
Robin is
it's
the
a lot.
roughest
No, it's a
one.
lot, and every rendition of it has been done amazingly. Even the rendition of it in the Titans TV show, which wasn't the best TV show around, was still really good.
It's a solid story that people can relate to.
Yeah.
Everybody can have like these complicated relationships with their folks, and so everybody can relate to this. And I think that's why people are drawn to it, right? Because Jason has such, demons he's fighting, and I think people even in their darkest moments can kind of relate to Jason.
Right.
So which makes him kind of a universal left character. So we'll get to that, to why I picked this issue. So the issue that we picked, because it's just a really cool issue of Jason Todd and one of my favorite standalone stories with him. So we'll get to this really cool issue that I like of Jason Todd from the Red Hood and the Outlaw series. This is volume 2,
Volume 2,
issue number 7.
number 7.
Now it has
right, because Volume 1 was with
Arsenal
and Starfire.
And Starfire. That was the main
Right,
trio
Roy
that-
Harper. Yeah.
This time around, volume 2, the trio is Red Hood, Bizarro Superman, not the original Bizarro Superman, actually a clone, but still Bizarro
yeah,
Superman,
Bizarro.
and Artemis. Why is that cool?
Any guesses? Any guesses? Oh, you want me to? Want me
Yeah.
to guess? Well, I at first glance, it's a weird, matchup and everything. But if you think about it, and if you get into it, I would say, I guess what's cool about it is, it's kind of like the big three.
Yeah, it's the Trinity, right? It's kind of a play on the Trinity. You have
you
the
have
Red Hood
the
in the
Batman
Batman role.
character.
You have Bizarro and
As a Superman character,
and
and
Artemis.
Artemis is the wrong. You know, it's pretty amazing.
And
It's
all of
pretty
them are
great.
like kind of like not exactly polar opposites, but yes, polar opposites of their
and
counterparts.
way more violent than their counterparts, for sure. Way
Absolutely.
more anti-hero than the original Trinity. Yeah, and it's a very interesting dynamic, for sure.
So in this issue, it's kind of like it has kind of like a of mice and men theme. Which, if you ever seen that film or read the book, I say film.
But yeah, it was
the
a
book
book
by John Steinbeck.
Yeah, how to read it in high school. So I'm pretty
Really
aware of
heavy
it.
duty stuff we're dealing
Yeah.
with. So basically, Bizarro Superman is a clone, right? He's not exactly well. And when the Red Hood's in Gotham, he kind of takes over Gotham. He's taking over some basically some crime family stuff.
syndicates.
He's the man in charge now.
Right.
But the
pay him.
backstory, the main story, is that he finds out that Bizarro, Superman was basically cloned in a lab, created in a lab, and he's not well, right? He is angry. He's upset that he is not smart. He's classic Bizarro.
Right.
He's mentally not capable of handling these situations. And Artemis shows him these files. And every time they try to help Bizarro, he's lashed out, killed the doctors, destroyed things. And there's no hope for this guy.
Right. No,
So he has this conversation with Artemis where he was like, is his life worth living?
In Bizarro's eyes, like this is he enjoy living?
Is it a torture for him just to even be here?
Right.
And they've kind of grown attached, and so much so like Bizarro keeps calling him Red, and like that's my best friend,
Right.
right? And Artemis is like, I wouldn't kill the guy. I've grown attached to him too, but like, his life is just suffering. So the whole comic tone changes.
Right, of course, drastically.
He shows up at the Batcave, and he sees Alfred, and he goes, "Hey, Alfred," and he makes a remark. Goes, "Isn't it funny that every time I come here, and I can't believe I even once lived here. Every time I show up, Batman has just left." And Alfred's kind of like, "Well, trying to soothe him. That's just a coincidence, even though it's probably not." He's like, "It's just a coincidence."
We know how Bruce can be.
And he's like, "Well, I'm just going to wander around." So what does he do? He goes through Batman's things because he knows it like the back of his hand. And he gets the one thing that Batman has in his possession that if Superman ever went bad, would take out Superman.
Kryptonite.
Yeah, he takes Bizarro to this field. And he starts talking to Bizarro. Takes him to this nice place. Tranquil, and he would tell Bizarro that this place used to scare him. He's having a moment of honesty with him. He goes, "I came from the city. It was so loud, violence, crime, destitute.
Right.
But here, everything's so beautiful." And Bizarro's just eating up this atmosphere. He's like, "It is. It's very pretty." And then he takes out the weapon of choice to unalive Bizarro. And he sticks it to the back of his head. And Bizarro starts confessing. He's like, "I know I'm not who I need to be. But Red, you make me want to be better. I'm going to try because you're my friend." And he can't do it.
Right. How could you?
He sits down and he slumps over. And he's like, "Okay." He has a change of heart. He's like, "Well, let's just go." And Bizarro, "Red, could we just stay a while? It's really nice here." Even more kind of a dagger twist.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And he's like,
gut-wrenching.
Sure, we can stay here. Gives Jason this arc of sympathy that he's reflecting on himself, right? I'm not supposed to be here. In some way, somehow, I'm back.
Right.
You're not supposed to be here.
Right.
Some way, for some reason, you are here.
Because even Jason had to learn how to become a hero, even if it's an anti-hero, after because when he came back, he was very violent and vengeful,
and he still is in this whole
storyline. He still is for sure.
Him and Batman really get into it.
No,
and Batman says you can only be in Gotham if you promise not to kill anybody.
Right.
And when he shoots, in this story arc, he shoots Penguin in the face. And the only reason Batman doesn't hurt Jason is because he's like, "Hey, I'm letting you know. You're riding this out because he's still alive right now." So it's like really kind of tense stuff.
Just very tense.
But here he is with Bizarro, who thinks that this guy's his best friend. You're my pal. No matter how many mistakes I make, you're patient with me. I appreciate you. And he's expressing that the best way Bizarro can.
Right.
And it really just
hits you,
Jason, like right in the
It hits you when you're reading it. It hits you. Yeah, it hits everybody.
And this is the cover that I choose to show you because it has an alternate cover. I'll show you the alternate cover now. You can kind of see it right here. This alternate cover is just like too much. Whoa, like you don't know what you're getting into. But when you read that arc, you're like, wow, okay. A lot of depth to Jason. Jason's one of the most complex characters in the DC universe.
Yes, he is.
I recommend you dive into all of his stories. Volume 1 is great. Volume 2, I tend to like a little more. If you had to read
Interesting.
I do. I like Volume 2.
Okay. I mean, I get the Holy Trinity. I get the difference of liking this one more. But, I mean, man, Volume 1, maybe because I haven't read the entirety of Volume 2. Maybe I'm a little biased.
Yeah, and then Volume 2 has, what happens to Roy, and has a big effect on Jason.
Right.
So again, like a guy who goes through it.
No, with spoilers.
Multiple things happen to Jason.
Right, of course.
But read this storyline, you will not regret it.
No,
and this is again, won't break the bank. Really.
Yeah, and because this is really new. Right?
Well, we say relatively new, but it came in 2016.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, almost 10 years ago.
That's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that was relatively new.
No, it's we're holding a book that's almost a decade old, but amazing.
Wow.
Amazing storyline. Really put this in your collection. If you don't have it, read it, find it. You'll love it. I mean,
great.
that's all I have for episode 3. But
Yeah.
I have some more surprises
Okay.
for episode 4.
Okay. You want to give us a little tease for episode 4? I don't even know what it's gonna be yet. So anything, maybe a character name or maybe a villain name.
Oh, you know what I used to like when I was in school? When I was in middle school, they had these Batman paperbacks. And it was a choose your own adventure. So I'm going to give you a choose your own adventure scenario.
Ooh, okay. I'm in.
You could go to one that's a part of a Justice League Unlimited character you love, and it's an issue involving that. You can go into a kind of issue with Batman that gives him an ending. It gives him a final moment. Closure, if you will.
Ooh. I mean, there's many Batman endings out there. So I'm okay. And those are the 2 options?
And then I'll give you option 3. Option 3 will be a Justice League story where someone gets kicked out.
Someone gets kicked out.
Yeah, we're gonna cover all of them, so it'll happen.
Right.
Just which one do you want to do first?
Next time, I'm gonna go with option A and do a Justice League Unlimited character.
Okay, so that'll be a teaser for episode 4.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Episode 3 of Father Son Issues, Red Hood and the Outlaws, Volume 2, Issue 7. Make sure to pick this one up. It was an amazing read, and this whole series is amazing. Dad, you were amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Let me know your favorite Jason Todd stories.
Please.
Your favorite Red Hood stories. I want to know.
Down below. Okay. You guys have a good night. Thank you so much.
Talk to you next time.
Bye.